So yesterday we did learning objective number 2 in our packet, but since we changed Mondays to 6, we're going to change this one to 7. So let's cross out our 2 and we're going to make it a 7. All right, so the objective says I can summarize 2 or more main ideas of a text and explain how they are supported by details, which is great. But what does that mean? So let's look at the word. So I know summarize means to tell the short version. I know that main idea is the big idea. What's it mostly about? We know that text is what we're reading. We know that explain means to tell about. And supported by details, that's our proof. So let's go ahead and write that. Tell the short version, main idea, what it is mostly about, text, what you read, explain, tell about, and then supported by details is my proof, or the fancy word for that is evidence. So if you mark it up like I did, then it's going to look pretty much like this. So I'll give you a second to look at that. All right, so then remember, I'm not reading the passage. I'm going to go straight to the questions because I want to know why am I reading this passage. I don't want to just read it and enjoy it or go, oh, I got some information. I want to know what did the people want us to answer. So when I look at number 3, it says, what is the main idea of the above passage? And number 4 says, what is a supporting detail? So if I'm thinking about that cave speech, remember it's like, me bring home meat. So I'm thinking about what main idea passage. So we're going to underline those words because that is what is important to know. And then on number 4, what supporting detail passage? Because we know the word, it has to come from the above passage because that's what we're reading. So I don't need the word above. So here we go. What supporting detail passage? All right, so we're looking for the main idea, what's mostly about. I'm looking for supporting details, what's my proof? So here we go. Volcanoes are mountains or hills formed when matter explodes through an opening in Earth's surface. Very hot, melted rock called magma gathers beneath Earth's surface. The magma begins to move toward the surface of the Earth because it is lighter than the rock around it. Imagine a balloon filled with helium rising into the air. So think about those balloons for the birthday parties that float, right? Tiny drops of magma collect into a large amount of magma moving towards the surface. When the magma reaches an opening in the Earth's crust, it rushes through. As it falls and cools, it hardens, leaving mountains or hills that we call volcano. Okay, so here's our choices. Main idea, what is it mostly about? Is it mostly about hot, melted rock called magma gathering beneath the Earth's surface? Talked a lot about that, so I'm going to put a question mark because I'm not sure yet. And then number B says, volcanoes are mountains or hills formed when matter explodes through the Earth's surface. Talked about that a couple of times, so I'm going to put a question mark there too. C, as magma cools, it hardens, leaving a mountain called a volcano behind. Was it all about the magma cooling and leaving mountains? Not really. We're going to put an X on C. And then D says magma is lighter than the rock around it. Good detail, but wasn't all about it being lighter, right? So you guessed it, another X. So here's what I'm going to tell you. 99.9% of the time, because this is English and because of how things are set up, our main idea is going to be stated in that topic sentence for the paragraph. So our topic sentence says, volcanoes are mountains or hills formed when matter explodes through an opening in the Earth's surface. So I'm going to put a little bracket around that one, and I'm going to put MI for main idea. All right, so here's the good thing. Everything else about that is proof about how does that happen. So that means that A, even though it sounds really good, is no deal. We're going to go ahead and circle B for our main idea. Okay, so now that we know our main idea is that mountains or hills are formed when matter explodes through the surface, let's look at a supporting detail. So we have a hot melted rock called magma gathers beneath the Earth's surface. Possibly. So let's go ahead and put a question mark there. Volcanoes are mountains or hills formed when matter explodes through the Earth's surface. Well, that's our main idea, so it can't possibly be a supporting detail. So we're going to go ahead and put an X on B. C, a balloon filled with helium rises into the air. Does that have anything to do with matter exploding or how volcanoes are formed? Not really. So we're going to put a to that C. And last one, volcanoes are very interesting things. They're right, but does that support it? No. So we're going to put an X on D, and that leaves A as our answer. So here's our main idea, which we wanted to know. Whoops. And here's our proof. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.